know poetry dropping when the pen clicks, and poets get it popping with the pen click. You now rocking with Kuya David, the prime poetry prime minister, here with my brother Daniel Hees, the chubby fat god. And today we are blessed with the magnanimous presence of the poetry prince of Los Angeles, the one and only super afro man who picks his fro with a divine chiseled afro pick made and forged out of black divine stars. We have the one and only Kito Fortune. Let's get it.
You're an extrovert, right? So just, go make some friends. You're not afraid of people? Take them. Dazzle them with your charm. Your personality is a circus. Everything about it is weird, but people seem to enjoy it. Your face made of clowns, morphing into whatever's most entertaining, feeding the illusion that all of this chaos is okay. Be all the life of every and any party. Kneel your energy into their chest and squeeze interest from their cardiac arrest. Ignore your inability to dance amicably. Your responsibility is to swallow your red pill and be everybody's blue. Everything you say is hilarious. And even if they don't laugh, it's okay. You're self-confident and well-adjusted enough to take the rejection in stride. Just go talk to her. Your past relationships never happened. You've never poured all of your sunlight into a black hole and called it a girlfriend. You've never watched the face of your crush contort in disgust at the mention of your name. You've never been called ugly or fat or stupid or white with black skin. You've never been called weak. You're strong. You're not having a bad day. You're not allowed to. Too many people rely on you to be their guaranteed smile of the morning. Too many people rely on you. Your family needs you to play mediator. Your audience needs you to play mediator. So soak up both sides, sift through the madness, inhale compromise and exhale reason. Breathe them both a resolution. Your parents need you to be successful. Your children will need you to be successful. So grind and grind and grind and grow. But don't forget where you came from. Your community needs you to be informed. So read and watch and write and read and watch and write and read and watch their eyes roll to the backs of their heads. Watch boys that look like Josh and men that look like Lyndon saturate the asphalt with their blood. You are not affected. Wear your smile like the world's most expected cloak of invisibility. You are not invisible. You're always surrounded by friends. Each one of them knows that someone else is talking to you. Someone else is checking up on you. Someone else is reminding you that you are not Atlas and no one can bear the weight of this world on their own. And with all these friends around, you can't possibly feel alone. You didn't think about dying today. Didn't drift ever so slightly from your lane? Fantasize about how easy it would be? Brag about how you've never been afraid of death? Count the people at your funeral, point out the ones that would claim to know you, the ones that would describe you as an extrovert. So carefree. The same ones that'll drink your happiness for free, but wouldn't pay a penny to see you on a day when you are anything but happy. And when you are anything but happy, you only stick around for the people who would describe you as a human. Just a man who used up all his tears as a little boy, but has learned to find the laugh in every situation. And watching you peel back your burnt skin on the days when the sun is most unbearable is still the most incredible thing they've ever seen you do. They need you to live.
Woo!
Yes. Need you to live.
Hey.
You need them to live.
Hey, we out here. You just hit me, G.
Yeah, you had that extended dramatic pause, like oh shit, all right, here we go.
Oh, we getting
But then
it.
he came in, I'm like, let me finish. Stop my time. I was like, yeah.
Wow. Hey, welcome to the Pen Clique, man. Excited to have you.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, word in the apartments, in the cuts. Bless, David, how you doing?
Doing good, doing well. Pen Clique. We are now, as of this episode, we have been uploading episodes and trying to give the people that poetry that they all need. So y'all know what it is. Yeah, we out here, Pen Clique, gang.
That was definitely the poetry that I needed right there.
Yeah, for sure. Clap.
Bless. Well, yeah, let's jump right into it. We're going to kick off the show with Threads and Lines.
This is all first verse. All first verse. We about to get this work.
Yeah, so this is where we find lines that we really stand out to us and unravel the threads of life experiences that forge those lines, threads and lines.
Hey.
And with that being said, So like I want to talk about this set of lines where you said your personality is a circus, everything about it is weird, but the people seem to enjoy it. Your face, the clowns morphing to whatever is most entertaining, feeding the illusion that all of this chaos is okay. Like, bro. So like as like a self-described, and people have called me like an extrovert,
right?
Like how exhausting like this is, and like there's a lot of like weird shit about being an extrovert, like how we come into this, where like, you know, very young, like we notice that there's certain behaviors that like make people happy, make people laugh, like if I get really animated, like people like seem to like me more, and then like that just like kind of gets drilled into you to like, you know, like something feels good about that,
right?
So something about this performance feels good, and then like, you know, there are times when, you know, like you don't want to be on,
right?
And like I just want to be me. Like I need to have a melancholic moment, but because people expect this of you, like it's exhausting, and then like it also feels like disappointing to yourself, like when you can't be that for other people,
right?
When did you realize that you are the extrovert and people are waiting on like your performance in the social space?
Oh man, like I've kind of always been like, well, first of all, my family is full of like incredibly extroverted, over the top people.
Okay.
And you spend a good amount of time with Caribbean people in general. We're all very expressive.
It's in the blood.
But right. So when you're with your family, it just feels normal. It's when you go out to other people and you're just being the way, you're just being the way that you are with your family and the way you've seen your family be, right? And they're just like, this is like, people literally stop and just watch you because you're just being yourself.
It's like when you have a high spice tolerance, and then like people don't even know that what you're trying, so they try some of your food. It's like, yo, how can you do this? Like,
exactly.
I
don't know. This is just this is it.
Kito is saying that he's pretty much like well seasoned, and he might be too spicy for some of you, saltine folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if you find white bread and tomato soup spicy, then you know, chill and Panera bread. But if you can handle the spice that is Kito Fortune, then, you know, come through GPL, you know, come through Mike and Dim Lights and get a taste of this flavor that he puts on the mic, you know, sprinkles it a bit.
That's a god.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so funny.
So how did you like how did it feel when, like, you know, like especially like in college and high school, when we really come into our, you know, our well-being of like where we are in, like, okay, I am this character among my friends. Like, talk about that.
You know what? When I got to college, like, you know, going somewhere else, I went to University of Southern Caribbean. I told you guys, in Trinidad, and I did not know anybody on campus. So like, and because I'm an extroverted person, you know, it was originally just me talking to people because I don't know anybody, and nobody really knows anybody unless like you had people that were coming from other islands and knew each other, like some of the kids from St. Lucia knew each other or whatever, but you know, I didn't know anybody, so it was just like going out, reaching out, making friends, being part of something. But you know what? In college was the same time that I realized, like how much of a burden it was to be that all the time.
Exactly.
You know, because when you're in college, I mean, you have so many things. Like I was a biology major, and then on top of that, I was in the drama club, I was in the choir, you know, I was
busy.
I was doing all kinds. I was definitely soaking in the full college experience, right? So, but there were days, you know, like because of like having so much pressure on you, you know, where you didn't want to be that, but you came around your friends, and it's like that was expected of you. Like, like people were like, if you're not having a good day, other people are not having a good day. You know what I mean? Like, are people like, or it's either that, and they're like, yo, what's going on with you? I don't know why you acting like that way today. Or people get upset with you sometimes. Like, why are you acting like that? You know? Or on the flip side, nobody notices because they just assume like you're good. I mean, he must be thinking about something because I don't know, the Kito I know, he's chill. You know,
he would reach out and ask me if he needed something.
Right, because you're so extroverted, you must. If there was an issue, you would just come out and be like, "I'm having a bad day." Right, it's like that's not how it works.
And again, like going back to like the whole spice tolerance is like how there's a saying about Szechuan people where like most like regular people cry when it's too spicy. Szechuan people they cry when there is no spice.
Right,
and then like we know when people enjoy your company so much, and then like you're not on, then like they feel sad. It's like damn.
Disappointed.
It's like all right, let me get a couple shots in me, and then like I try to do that. And like how do you deal with like trying to maintain that balance of like all right, I do telling people and defining that I do need like my melancholic moments and
does this aid in that?
Like,
you know
honestly,
that's
how I deal with
like,
it.
You can
Poems,
do this piece.
Like honestly, what happens is especially when you've been like an extrovert for so long, and you learn how to manage and there is an element of like people that need you. It's true. There are people that genuinely need you. They need you to be their drive for the day. They're kicking the pants. Like they need that. But at the same time, what happens is you'll kind of go through that for me, it'll even be months at a time, and you're just cool, whatever. And then there'll be that one day when you're in your car and you ain't had no data on your phone. There's nothing good on the radio, and you're just in traffic, and it's just you and the silence, and like that dread just starts creeping over you. And you're like, and what'll happen is like for me, I'll be honest, like I'll pick up my phone, right? Because I used to try my old job. I used to have a long commute, right? So like, I would go to my phone and I would try to like call people, and I'm looking through my phone. I got a whole bunch of names in there, and I'm scrolling, and I'm like, there is not one person, or the 1-2 people that I would normally like call or something like that. They're busy or whatever, and that's cool. Or you just called them yesterday, so you don't want to.
You don't
want to be bugging people, right? So you go and you start looking through your phone, and you're just like, there is not one person in here that I can turn to, that I can have a legit conversation with about whatever I'm going on, or just be on the other side of the phone so I can like distract me from my thoughts, you know what I mean? And that's when you start to realize that like it's like, I'm an extrovert, and on the surface, like I have like a lot of acquaintances or stuff like that, but like there's not, like people don't think to tell you like, yo, you can turn to me, right? Like that, because
you're often that for
they
other people.
assume that like that's what that line is about, like someone else is talking to you, someone else is checking on you, like everybody knows that you got people. I mean, that doesn't have to be me, because you certainly have all these people around.
It's like that joke, who cheers up the clown?
Exactly. And it's fighting. It's kind of basically about like, I mean, honestly, in those moments, I God is my peace. Like I sometimes, even as somebody who's born and raised Christian, I forget that God is a viable option to turn to, that I can turn and talk to him and share some of my experiences with him. But even then, like sometimes I know how much God uses people to speak to me, right? And sometimes like you need like a person to be there for you, and you don't. And sometimes
humans
it comes
are social
from
creatures,
right.
And we need that self-reflection,
right? Or you think, or you even hits you like, when's the last time like I had like a really good hug? Like those types of things. Like
if you ever need a good hug,
right? No, but and I'm thinking that too as a person. Like I think, hey, if somebody needs a hug, they can definitely turn to me and get a hug. But like people don't. I don't think people are intentional enough about letting people know, like, you can, like, I'm a friend and you can use my friendship. Right. Don't be afraid to use my friendship. Right. Because I feel like I run into that problem a lot where, like, there are people that maybe are present around me that I can use them in times like that, but I don't think that we're there yet, or that might be awkward, you might,
like, how much
or
of
they might
can
think
I
the
reveal?
wrong thing about it if I try to, it's so it's one of those things like
It's like the longer you're in a relationship with a person, it's like the more you build stock with them, and therefore the deeper you can get in there. So like, how much of myself can I really show to you?
And I'm a kisser. Like I kiss socially. I love to kiss people on the cheek and things like that. And as a boy, like that's when like I know we homies. Yeah. Like because my real like close like to the vest homies, I kiss when I see them. Like, and that's like the line for me.
Right.
Like, okay, when we on those terms, like, I know I could go to you.
I know that's my
and be like, hey, this and that. And like on that God tip, like a lot of the struggle, God like expresses himself through you and in you, and it still feels singular. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
It still feels
exactly.
like, but you have to find it out there. You have to reach for it.
What about you, Daniel? What lines did you get?
There was a lot here. One thing I want to touch on real quick, just because it's a point that I try and make as often as I can. You've never been called weak. You're strong. And that whole idea, you go on to say you're not having a bad day. You're not allowed to. For me personally, finding strength in my weakness has been key to a lot of things. Right. I'm going to be weak. I'm going to have moments of just complete like rock bottom emotionally. And I have no gas in the gas tank. And there is something in that as well. To be able to embrace that and to not deny it because I gotta be okay. Right. Yeah, that has obviously informed a lot.
Yeah, people literally don't allow you to have the freedom. Like I remember saying that specifically a couple times. Like, yo, I'm having a bad day. I'm allowed to have a bad day. Yeah. Like and and it might come off kind of like rude to people sometimes, but it's like, yo, no, I'm just not having a good day. It's okay. Like that happens sometimes. Like,
and I wonder often if it's like, because I have the same thing, right? Yeah. And is it rude just because you're expecting this other thing?
Exactly.
And like today, I'm not being rude. If anybody else would have hit you with this, you would ask them what's wrong. But because it's me.
But it's because me. It's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. It's also, we're not allowed to be weak. Like, it's not okay to be weak in this culture. America, like,
ultra
like,
hyper masculine.
You gotta be masculine. You gotta be tough. You gotta be ready to fuck shit up. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta fight. You gotta be ready to fight.
Right.
And it's like, if you're weak, you're soft, or you're this, or you're that.
And it doesn't allow you to be human.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't allow you to have emotions.
And the full spectrum. Right. If you can't embrace the full spectrum of what you have,
or the everybody likes you complex. Right. Oh, everybody likes you. Everybody. You know, I seen you do the thing, and you know you got.
Speaking of which,
I heard conversations such and such was talking. It's like, yo, like. I know who I am, and that's one of those things about growing up. It's like I know who I am. I know the shit that I've been through and the shit that I've done. Word. Like some of the ugly shit that I've done. Word. Some of the like my own personal like self-esteem shit that I gotta fight through every fucking day. Word. Like to tell myself like, yo, you're better than that, you know? Like I gotta convince myself of that sometimes, you know? And it's like, and sometimes as I'm going through that process, like it shows, right? I'm working through this right now. Word, right. Yeah. And I am allowed to take that time to figure that out, whatever it is.
Kito, let me ask you this. As like extroverts, it's like, for a long time, like people let us cook, like in our lives. It's like, yo, this guy's great, this guy's hilarious, Like, how did like if you have had this experience yet, but how did it feel the first time when like you found out that somebody doesn't like you, or you made an enemy? Because I remember that first time that happened to me I was like in my 20s already. Yeah, and then like I made
like they really dislike you.
Yeah, and like you know my first death threats in my life. I'm like, yo, what? Like who doesn't like David? What are you talking about? Yo, you know, like when you're young, you know, and you get into certain things, and I was like, it is what it is.
But when you're young, it's like, man, your shoe's dumb. I don't like you, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's usually on some ignorant child shit.
Nah, it's like, yo, I'm gonna dap you in the face. You know what I mean? It's like, I was. Yeah, it was wild times. But
like I said, like that codependency they breed in this culture as well. Like you have to be liked, you have to be popular. Yeah. Popularity is a part of American culture.
I remember how crushing that was to me. That like what do you mean like people don't like me? Like everyone loves David, but then like, yo, that's what it is. Like, have you had that feeling?
You know what I remember the first person that I met, and I never have a thing where I expect everybody to like me, but I never expect anybody to hate me. Hate me either, unless I do something. Like if I do something and you don't like it, like that's a thing. You know, either we could talk about it or whatever. But like there was somebody who inherently did not like me. And I think it was because he had a lot of friends that were my friends as well, and he didn't like the fact that they liked me, or like I don't know if he thought like he was kind of like a goofy funny guy, so he like maybe he thought that I was like stepping in on his territory. I didn't know what it was,
right?
But it was one of those things where it's like oh, and what it was it wasn't necessarily like a crushing thing for me, but it was like so this is what this looks like.
Yeah, word.
Okay, so you just don't like me, and what it did do for me is it kind of pulled some of that I don't want to call it arrogance, but like it's humbling. It pulls that off of you. Oh, not everybody, and that's why when people say stuff like that, like oh, you're Kito, everybody likes you. I tell them nope,
right?
Trust me. And most of the people, and he's that type of person that would kind of let me know in his everyday personality that he doesn't like you. But there are everyday people who are going to decide that they don't like you, and they're not going to show it. They'll be like, So I learned, I'll say this, that would happen like early in high school. I learned early that not everybody's going to like you, and that's cool. Like that's no sweat
I really
off my
wish
back.
I
like,
had that experience at that age. Yeah.
That's, and I had that experience to teach me early, like that's gonna be a problem sometimes.
It's a bubble pop.
And I try to like I do have a thing where I don't necessarily want that to be right, and if the person is open to it, I will definitely go out and be like, yo, let's talk about it. Like you don't have to, because I'm certainly not thinking about you, right? So I don't want you to have that burden. We can talk about it, but if the person's not willing, it's like, I mean, I honestly could.
But growing up, like as we're experimenting with extrovertness, it's like we'll do a lot of fuck shit.
The clowns line that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you get to the point where you start changing depending on who they. Oh, these people like this version of me.
Young
These
David was
people like
wild
this
problematic. I'm not gonna lie, but and then on top of that, like it's being pushed forward with pressure because of your extrovertness.
Yeah,
it's like
word.
damn. If I was a more chill person, that would have been as pronounced, and maybe I wouldn't have gotten to certain situations. But we all good now. I have not heard this before. I have not read about this before.
It's funny because I actually got annoyed by on like Facebook they have all the
cool BuzzFeed quizzes.
Introverts do this. How to deal with an introvert. This is what an introvert. I'm like, I mean, we got shit too.
Yeah, facts.
Just trying to sum me up in 12 questions, 12 multiple choice questions,
12 ways
with a bunch of gifts from some rom-com movie.
This is how you date an introvert. It's like, okay. I ain't never seen no lessons on how to date an extroverted person. Where that at?
Hey, extroverts are people too. We out here.
We exist.
Extroverts matter.
And I don't want no life advice from something. You know what I'm saying? You probably wrote that like what Disney princess and like queens as well. So I see you. Stop getting your life advice from
Shout out to
quizzes.
Mulan though, and the strong independent woman out here.
All right.
Yo.
Moving on. Off of Threads and Lines. Bless you guys.
Yes, sir.
Bless you, Kito.
Thank you.
Killing it.
Appreciate
to the
it.
two-piece combo.
Yes, sir.
Two-piece combo.
For the listeners, for the guys, for David, for Kuya, for everybody, the two-piece combo is a poetry review. We are going to pull two pieces from the internet, one from YouTube, one from Instagram. We're going to give them a quick critique, give them a review, give them a number. First up, we got a YouTube video from Lois Gallo.
Lois Gallo. Like Pico de Gallo is what I think.
Yeah, I don't know, like the...
Hey, Pico de Gallo, because she's spitting that sauce for content. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's spiciness. You know what I'm saying? And the piece is called "How We Forget" off of the Cup C 2014 Cup C. It's a collegiate circuit of slam. And
the College Union Poetry Slam Invitational.
Yeah.
Ooh, yo, man's remembers. Yo,
is it invitational?
I believe so. Yeah.
Lord bless the gods. 2014. It was at University Texas Austin. You can find it on YouTube. I think Button put out the video we about to watch.
Shout out Button.
Bless. We see you. We love you. We appreciate you getting it. So we can jump into it.
Cool. Ooh, shout out to that Windows Movie Maker title sequence.
We forgot we were worshiping beings. We forgot you, Black Jesus. We forgot the King of Kings. We forgot crowns do nothing for kings, but
That's
put
hard.
weight on their heads and a target on their backs. We forgot they tax our heads and put weight on our backs.
Ooh, and shout out to like her establishing the mood with like real poetry, like real universal, like well thought out brevity, like boom, that is universally true. That King's line, and then going into the struggle, like, oh, you're with me now. Yeah. Now let's talk about our struggle.
And the whole time when she said Kings and Target on the back, like maybe it's a reach, but maybe it's like like Martin Luther King assassinated. So King, Target on the back,
crowns on their heads and targets on their back, and the connection between what Jesus' walk was and what King's walk was.
Yeah. So
I mean, on the back too.
The double entendre flow. You know what I'm saying?
We see you, Lois.
It's amazing.
Sodom and Gomorrah
Nice sweater, by the
were
way.
leveled by brimstone and divine judgment, but Mississippi is still standing. We forgot burning cities. We forgot cities are still burning. We forgot colors are seasonal, and that this skin will fade too. I forgot my skin.
That's hard. Colors are seasonal, will fade too. Yeah.
I just ran out of fucks to give.
Oh, and that's real.
We forgot that some kids' utopia is a roof that won't whisper the night to the sleeping bodies below. We forgot bodies sleep below. We forgot bodies float. Bodies hang. We forgot barbecue postcards, strange fruit, and hooded men.
Hey, and I want to stop right there because Kuya had to do some research. Barbecue postcards. Are you familiar with barbecue postcards?
All right.
Kuya, you want to give us the science?
Barbecue. All right. So I had to Google what that meant. Barbecue postcards, because I know what strange fruit is. You know, strange fruit, like Billie Holiday talking about like hang Negroes. Yeah. So barbecue postcards. Around the same era of like the lynch mobs and all that, white folks would trade postcard photos of lynch mobs and like hanged black bodies and burned black bodies, and these were actual in circulation postcards. And so barbecue postcards is like those postcards of black burned bodies.
Yeah, and I just wanted to stop and give context because I didn't know that until Kuya gave me the science. She comes back to hit us with it again, and just pay attention because she's setting you up and like whoo, bless Kuya for the science.
I forgot my rage and the post-it leaves underneath my tongue. I forgot my tongue.
Real quick. Tear, and then she does a tear.
Single tear.
Like, we were talking about it's like cup C's, and I was like what are these real tears? But like as we'll later see, is like, but take it for what it is. Like sometimes the performance can be a distraction to the poetry, and sometimes it can add on to it. But like, what's that? All right, well, take it for what it is.
And how it used to fit so perfectly in my purse next to my womanly duties. I forgot my purse.
Fire.
And my high heel stilts.
Fire.
I forgot balancing is no longer an act when you're hiding behind imported hair.
Stupid
and
fire.
Downloaded smile. And a voice trained to jump through hoops for flames for your snaps and applause. You don't get it. Shoot, you already forgot you woke up this morning.
Hey, shout out to the
You forgot to close the faucet when you were scrubbing that pot, that plate, that spoon, or your left butt cheek or whatever. But you remember how that song goes, right?
Right.
You remember how it went? You remember you wanted your Grand Chai tea latte with 3 pumps, skim milk, light water, no foam, and served at 120 degrees. You remember
my gosh, world context. Like, we get like any more of like a call out to all of us? Right. Like, for real.
Yeah, and it's like, she's talking about these things that it's like, it was very easy for you to forget to turn off your water while you're brushing your teeth and stuff like that. It's very easy for you to forget that, but you remember all this frivolous. You remember the lyrics to that song, right? You remember all this frivolous nonsense, but
And like to hit it with that complexity of order too, you know what I'm saying? Because when I'm getting coffee, Y'all, I'm a grown man. I don't need a milkshake to get me all wired. I want coffee. And like to spit it with that, like, you want it, okay, and then like you said, she goes from wasting water, to giving.
I want my water at 100.
Yeah,
I want my water.
I did not even like make that connection.
Yeah,
that's fire.
And on that Buddhist tip, real quick, like there is something to be said about doing your dishes. And it's an example that you use in like Buddhist teaching. When you're doing your dishes, you're very rarely doing your dishes. You're washing your dishes while you're thinking about what you're doing after you do your dishes, instead of doing your dishes. And there's something
I've heard of that.
Doing your dishes. There's God in those moments where you stop and you believe and you do something.
Right.
Oh, shouts out. Bless the God.
How spiritual of an experience that was. I forgot where I wrote this. I forgot if I was just ranting or if I'd forgotten to close the faucet when I was scrubbing that pot, that plate, that spoon on my tongue or whatever, but I remember how this goes. I remember how spiritual of an experience this is. I forgot my heart was a burning city. Shoot, you already forgot. I forgot my tongue, remember? We forgot
Call-outs, callbacks.
that some kids walk past their utopias every morning.
Fire.
Suburban bricks standing tall in proclamation of what statistics say they will never truly attain. We forgot that some kids try so hard to forget tomorrow is even coming. We forgot that there were kids smiling in barbecue postcards next to strange fruit and hooded men. Or perhaps we never had any fucks to give, you know. Sometimes I forget how hard it is to remember.
And then she comes back, G. Like, she comes back.
like-
the whole end of the poem is this brilliant realization where you're like, this whole thing was set up.
Yo.
And, as for the crying real quick, because, okay, she starts
Let's talk
crying,
it up.
right? And I'm like, why is she crying? Like, I understand this, like, the struggle piece, and like
Right.
this is like obviously her trying to deal with both sides of the struggle. Like,
Like she
there's-
knows what's coming in the poem. She's like, oh shit, it's about to hit.
and maybe
Yeah.
that's funny because it seems like at the time like it might be manufactured, but she
Yeah.
knows what's coming at the end of the
Exactly.
piece. So when she says the first line, she already has the context of where she's going when she
Exactly.
says it, and you're just like. And you're sitting there like, well, why
are you crying?
Why are you there already?
Right.
And it doesn't feel natural, but it's like she knows what's happening when she gives you the first hint and the second
Yeah.
hint, and it's just like that line about kids walking past their utopias
Yeah.
every day.
Right.
That line it sits with me because it's like America is a perfect example of a place where you walk down one street and it's ghetto. And you walk, especially here in California,
Yeah, LA, yeah,
you walk
that's
down,
all LA is.
literally, you go down La Brea.
Right.
You go down La Brea, you keep going, you pass Jefferson, you're in the hood. You pass Washington, you're kind of hood.
Yeah.
As soon as you get to like Venice, the apartments start looking better and stuff like that. And if you're going to school on the other side of the town, right, and you're on the bus, you literally watch that transition.
Yeah.
Word.
You watch that change.
One of
And-
my favorite things to do, like,
Oh,
is
man.
like if we're going to the beach or something, I'll cut through Inglewood just to show like the suburban homies, we see you out here. Go see your city. Go see your
Yeah.
city. Because you cut through Inglewood and it's like you want to see what it's really like in the city. You want to
might
know
not
something
be that
about
way
black
for very
culture.
long.
Yeah, word. And that's the struggle because what we have in Inglewood is like the whole spectrum of black culture. You have the hood right next to these educated, strong family units in the hood.
Yeah.
Like you drive through different neighborhoods and you're like, oh, this is nicer. These houses are nicer than the suburb that I grew up in, fucking 40
the
miles
small
away.
businesses and stuff like that right there in the same
exactly,
area.
exactly. And
Yeah.
you see both, like you said, you
Yeah.
drive through and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you get all of it. You get all
Absolutely.
of
That,
it.
Really-
that line
yeah.
is beautiful, the way she constructed that piece.
Really dope
man.
piece. The thing is, like, again, like it's like, all right, so like I said this before, I'm gonna say it on the mic. It's like, all right, so Cupsy universe, like, you know, kids, it's like when they get into the game early, it's like they're kind of OD when it comes to trying to emote and convey certain emotions. So sad equals cry, and angry equals yelling, and like happiness equals all smiles and laughter. And like you will find like some, like especially in the beginning rounds and the elimination rounds of Cup C, of like a lot of these like spoken word artists and troops where they're like really crying and like the whole
Yeah,
time they're
yeah,
about
yeah.
to go like this. It's like, yo, so OD, bro. So-
Yeah,
and-
But you know what? I didn't get that. I didn't
No, but
feel
this
that.
is-
I
right.
didn't feel that from her piece. I I genuinely felt like
at first it's like, is this?
Because
Yeah.
you don't know why.
Right.
So when
Yeah.
she first cries, you're like, wait, why is she crying exactly?
Right.
Is this just a performance thing? Is she just crying? But like the one thing, like you said, right, you get that hack like, oh, sad means cry. So I'm going to cry. I didn't get sadness from any of this.
Right.
I got like I've had conversations with
Tears of frustration.
black homies that
Yeah.
are that their biggest frustration with moving forward, with fighting the fight and like staying strong, is they just want to exist.
Right.
Like fuck, I don't want to have to be
Right.
this all
And,
the time.
yeah.
I don't want to have the burden of my people's history and the context of that on me all the time. I
Right.
want to just be able to exist. And what white America and like a lot of people don't recognize in America is that that isn't an option for some people.
Exactly.
You don't get to
have
just
that,
exist.
You don't have that freedom. Like you, even if you, let's say you're pushing towards something, right? Like you're
Yeah.
working on whatever it is your passion is, right? You're trying to make something of that, right? You can't just be like, I'm putting all of myself into that
Yeah.
the same way as something else, because you got to think context. Like you got to think of small things. Like life happens to everybody, but life happens. There's so many extra things that you got to. I'll be give you an example. The other night, somebody busted my car window open. Right, right in Hollywood, whatever.
Bless the hurting
right?
and suffering.
And like I don't know. They didn't really take like a whole lot. I think I had like a briefcase. I don't know if they thought they would. Like they took that, and then that's besides the point. So I'm in Hollywood. It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Hey.
Right? My window is busted open. Right? And I need gas. Right? And I'm just thinking, I was planning on going and staying by my cousin's house. Right? But I'm like, I'm going home.
Yeah, word.
Because I don't want like at this time of night, I don't want to run into any cops with a car and a busted
Right.
window.
Oh,
right?
word.
My car, right, is not clean.
Yeah.
Right. My car is not clean. Right. My car, it has the engine light on. Right. So when I went to go get my plates, I didn't pass the inspection, right? So even though my registration's paid for, my car doesn't have plates. My car window's
Right.
busted.
Dirty.
My car is
Yeah.
dirty. I don't want to be on the road when there's going to be
night,
cops on the road,
with
right?
no witnesses?
With no witnesses,
That's
and my
real
car window
thoughts,
busted
y'all.
open. You know what I mean? When the glass is there and everything and I'm thinking the entire time like yo, I gotta be panicked about this, and then at the same time, while having all that in the back of my mind, I got to try to get to this place so I can get this job done and get that job done and try to make this art thing happen. And there's other people that are trying to make that art thing happen, but they don't have to deal with that
the context of
going
their
on
skin.
all the time. Like that's not even a thing that has to occur to them.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, life happens for everybody, right? Like that's just a random thing could happen to
forgot
anybody.
who said it.
But
Yeah.
the context of everything in the background, it sits on you, and I think that's what she honestly captures in the piece a lot, right? Is you remember all these other things, but you forget, like this background stuff that happens, and it's easy to forget that stuff, right? I think that poem is amazing.
And we forget, like, being black means these things as well. In this
Instantly.
culture,
Yeah.
no matter what, I don't care if we're 300 years removed from slavery, I don't care how recent or not recent it was, these things inform being black in this country, and being black, and it reflects all of this. And like you said, like, you can't just take that off. I don't like, I'm on that like punk rock tip. I got my skins, like I got like my oh, that motherfucker's punk rock shit. You know, I got that stuff that I wear. I could leave that shit in the trunk. G, like I can take it off and not be punk rock anymore, at least to a cop.
Right.
But if you black, it's something that informs every thought and decision that you make. And
there's a quote
again, we forget.
There's a quote along those lines that goes, there are those who are raised hoping that the cops help them, and then there are those who are raised that they hope the cop doesn't fuck with them.
Yeah, word.
You know what I mean? And that's depending on your mindset, you know, like that defines like your world.
Yeah. You know,
so that being said, Lois Gallo, 2014
Dope
Cup C.
piece. Yeah.
Cup C.
Well, let's say you saw that at a slam and you have like 20 seconds. This is your first time hearing it ever in your life. So you weren't able to Google up barbecue postcards, all that.
Yeah.
Within that, out of 10, how would you score it?
I would give that like a 9.2 or a 9.3. Just because like I felt it. I felt everything in the piece, but to be honest, I wanted more. I wanted it to, and that's how poetry works. You know,
But still,
when
you
you're
get a
at the
9.2.
slam, you judge
Yo,
off your
that's what
personal
up.
preference,
Yeah,
right?
facts.
You judge off your personal preference, and my personal preference is for that piece to. I wanted it to kick and boom and take off, and it never quite did that.
Right.
It left you feeling like, as soon as you got it, oh, I get it, and then that was the end.
No,
and it was like
I was waiting. I was
wanted
waiting for
it
that.
to rev up and just like
That room
take
shaker.
off.
You need that. I was waiting for a haymaker.
Yeah.
Because like especially with a rap, like where you have these like 8-bar setups, 16-bar setups. Okay, I'm listening to you, but you need to pay out. And I didn't get that moment. I didn't get that
I'm
hit.
gonna say though, because I got points right now. I'm gonna hit it. I like was thinking the same thing. Like I give you like a 9.3, a 9.4 around there because I want to see you advance.
Right,
But
right.
I want you to be aware that like that was not the 10.
That was perspective for me wanting to see more.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't like 10s in slamming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a reason you get a 10,
You get
and
a 10.
unless it's that 10, you're getting a 9.9. Like,
and there
I
are
appreciate
poems that you hear, and when you hear it and it's done, that was perfect. So it's like I want to see more from that, but like I just wanted it to just,
and that's
you
what
need
you
that
give a
hit.
10.
Take off. You need
I
that
wanted
room
it to
shaker.
take off.
But,
my point being though, like if I read this, you know what I'm saying? I would I would enjoy this way more. Like if I read this,
because you could reread it, and that's the
you
thing.
can reread it. You can go
Find
back,
meaning,
and there is that big payout. I feel like because again, where it's like she cries, and I'm like, why is she crying? And then the big payout at the end is like, oh, I know why she was crying now.
Yeah,
I understand.
As a
completely
literary
why she was
piece,
crying.
this is like super fire
and
you're able to find more depth into it.
We also had the benefit of having like time to think about it
Right,
after
and rewind
when you're
it.
a judge and you just see
That's
it.
the difference.
Like it might not even land for you right away.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
at the end of the poem, you're still. Like,
That's the difference between stage poetry and
like,
page poetry.
Oh, I get it. But as soon as you get it and it's over and it's like, oh well, dang. So like even if there were like some more lines or like a wrap up to the piece to get there, it would have given me more time to.
For that exact reason, it was a slow build, and because I didn't know like some of the things that she was referring to, and it even took me further down to like reading to the YouTube comments, like, oh okay, so there was like a callback to like her forgetting like her gender role and
the gender role,
the heels at stilts, like fire. But if I was given like 20 seconds first time seeing this, it's like, all right, I have it in my notes. You can just read it. At first, I was going to give it like 6.57, but then after like 3 or 4 listens, it raised up to like a 7.58.
Yeah. Wow.
Because for me, it's like I'm really my personal preference for poetry is like wordplay is my shtick. That's like I love that wordplay.
Going to get hit in the face.
Yeah,
you reading shit
I
on the
need
toilet
bars.
to be quiet and reflective.
I want to hear.
I want to hear in the face.
Yeah, I want to hear those Don DeMarco moments. You know, I want to hear like that air horn. It's like, I got that. But no, she didn't have those room shakers.
Yeah.
It's like without the room shakers, to me, it's like for a slam piece, it felt incomplete. But if that was like if she was a feature, then like and there was no judging, no grading, and it's just like it is what it is. Then like that is like one of the best features I've ever seen in my life. Within the slam setting and like never seen it, no context.
I don't have in a feature. If you got to lead into it with context of another piece,
I'm buying a chapbook off
or
rip.
switch up the room with that piece.
I'm crying if I see that.
Oh
in the
yeah,
future.
yeah.
I'm crying.
Absolutely.
I'm in
As a
tears.
feature, that
I'm
piece is messing
praising
you up.
like, oh, thank you. Oh my God, this is why I'm here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there is a payoff. I feel like there is a payoff, but it's not like huge. Like one thing Kito does, just to praise the guy real quick, because that's why you're here. Like there's things that I've missed in your pieces and performances where I'm like, wait, where is he going? What is it? Wait, did I miss? Should I know that? And then it pays off, and it's like, oh,
Kito,
that's why we did all that.
Kito, he lands haymakers. That's what I love about your poetry.
The stuff you miss, like in your poem, the little pieces of the setup, like it's still that big giant payout, like boom. This was like a very subtle payout, but I was satisfied. I think this is lit. I'm gonna say 9.5. I got 9.5 on this all day.
8.5.
All right,
but
moving on
to the second piece.
parse?
Yes. So we're gonna go on Instagram and look for the first poem that comes up under hashtag poetry. An actual poem, not just like a pretty picture of a piece of avocado toast. It's like, haha, like
My breakfast is poetry.
Yeah, nah, bro.
We see you.
Oh, that's so real.
I just got my
Instagram,
nails
though.
done and this Halloween out. Like, oh, look at my crazy ass. Everything
But
on my nails sparkly as
if
fuck
it
with
is
poetry.
like
nah.
a picture of like a nice picture of a sunset and the caption has poetry, cool. We'll do that.
yeah. But it can't just be a picture of a sunset and you hashtag it poetry.
All right, first piece that comes up is under Zero Roads at Zero Roads.
Spelt out like
Zero Roads. Yeah, and the poem goes, "I want to show you my love, but you can't see me through the walls around your heart."
Say it again.
I want to show you my love, but you can't see me through the walls around your heart.
Okay.
Ooh.
For visual context, it's in like a iMessage
Okay.
form. So
okay.
so that gives like some further
Yeah.
context. I want to show you my love, but you can't see me through the walls around your heart.
I appreciate like the mixed medium.
The visual helps.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
visual helps. It's it's an iMessage
It
window
makes it
with
seem
like
more like a plea instead of like
Yeah.
a statement. It's not like
And
a general
the
statement. It's like
timestamp-
this is a specific thing to
Right.
somebody.
The timestamp
Yeah.
on the iMessage is today 3:08 a.m. So maybe they're like,
That's a booty call.
right,
Yeah,
or maybe
Desperate booty call too, G.
or maybe it's like a really like a night after drinking and then,
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
word,
saying.
word.
But if it was a night after drinking, then like I think it would be more reckless. If it would be
3
more
a.m.
emojis on this.
Make it seem suspect
Right.
now.
Like, some facts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's poetic merit.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
This
like,
is not-
like
yeah.
it's more of like a observation metaphor type
But
thing.
I really fuck with like it being within the context of an iMessage
Right.
at 3:08 a.m. That adds so much. Like visual poetry is a form of poetry.
Yeah,
And
word. New mediums, we out here.
And,
Right.
and this being like what it is, like personally, like I would score this in like specifically because of the context of the iMessage. I would give this like high 6s if not 7s.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Because like the poem structurally is like but like the visuals, the aesthetics around it just bring that much more artistic interpretation to it.
Word.
But you know what? Like, here's my thing, right? I'm looking at it, right? And in the picture, you see that it's a message, right? But there's no message that comes before that. So this wasn't a conversation.
Right, no, this
was
was
a
right,
random thought that you have. And
Or maybe
to me,
maybe they got their number and it's like this is me putting myself out there.
Maybe it was like a bad first
that's
date.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if this is you putting yourself out there just like that, I would have loved this more if there was like messages going on, or she was saying something, or the person was saying something to the other person, and they were like, you know what, this is our problem right now, right? Based off of the conversation,
more story.
right? Yeah, I want more story.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like that standing alone, it doesn't really do a lot for me because it feels like it's a small observation. Like I said, that comes off to me almost like a dude thinking that he thought of, like he saw that on
I don't know.
Instagram somewhere,
I
and
don't
he
know.
copy and
he's like,
pasted
I'm gonna
that
do
and
that.
sent it to somebody, and it doesn't feel like an authentic
Yeah.
thought of what you really want
Yeah,
for the
word.
person. It's like,
I want to show you my love, but you can't see me through the walls around your heart. It's like that is like
that feels super condescending to me.
it does
a little bit.
It does,
Yeah.
but it's like I
It's
think
your fault.
right?
Yeah.
Which is
your
fucked up.
fault.
Which is fucked up. But at the same time, like I just really enjoy like what they're trying to do conceptually.
Yeah,
Like,
word.
which is why it's not in like 7.5 or 8.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
but the concept and the idea of what they're trying to convey, like I fuck with heavy.
You giving a lot of credit. What you got on this, Keto?
I feel like that's like a 5 or a 6. I wanted.
Okay, fair.
I wanted.
That's fair.
I want more. Like,
Yeah.
either expand on what your comment is. Now, if he kept that and kept it running a little bit,
Yeah.
right? I know it's just like a one-line poem, but like if he expanded on it, I'm trying to figure out what's the purpose of the poem.
Or even like a response from the other side. You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
like something
Like, duh,
or
that would be
something
lit.
first,
Yeah.
something
Like,
first,
man.
and then that second,
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
being a response to something
Right.
works. But
Yeah.
as your random message at 3:00, it's like, oh, you thought you was going to hit somebody with the deep shit and just like
Ah.
that's how
But
it feels.
But then maybe you erase your chat history because no, like I'm gonna let that go. But then it's like
Yeah, you never know what pictures in there, what weird,
and then
what,
and then 2 a.m. You feel like drunk and lonely. You start hearing Drake's Marvin's Room and you start thinking about your ex.
Yeah.
and then
maybe that's the story.
You reopen.
I thought about that
He
too.
deleted it all, you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
And then you
he was
reopen.
like, he's about to text her, and like he's like, oh man, I deleted everything.
And what if he felt like as soon as he said that he felt regret, like no, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, word.
Yeah, it could be that. It's like he thought that sounded real deep, and then the next morning he's like,
So
I'm right there with that. You guys gave it a lot of credit. Like I'm not even thinking 6. I'm gonna say like a 4.
poetically, it's
nothing really poetic. I mean, it's
Yeah.
alright.
But-
It's
but
kinda
as a
hack.
visual
it's a
poem.
little hack. Like
Yeah.
it's a little like, oh, did you? I've heard that before, and
Yeah.
I've heard that said in so many different ways, maybe even better ways before. I appreciate him being like, hey, new mediums, we see you. Like, oh, I'm gonna do. But I feel like that's all he was doing. He was like, oh, I got this dope idea. I'm gonna like do this
But
text message
the-
thing,
the
like
format,
you said, that I either saw or thought of.
It's such a
Either
cool
way.
idea that like maybe we'll see like future poems that like because like that's so
That
dope.
could be a series. That could
That's so
definitely be a
dope. I would
series.
bite it. Yeah,
But
that was
we
so
said
dope.
it-
I would bite it.
We've said it on
Yeah.
the show before, like cultivate your art. You know what I'm saying? Do re-edits,
Right.
do things
Yeah.
like that. So like if we would apply that to doing just a poem, like this new visual medium as well needs to be held to that standard. So come on, bro. Like you're really
But, yo,
that is
all right.
not strong enough text
I'm gonna let you cook.
to
Go ahead.
support the whole concept of
Right.
this text
Yeah.
message.
But here's
308
the
poem.
it's kind of like how like Lil B, as abstract as his music is, then you see like kids who grew up on Lil B and take his abstract weird
Yeah, and they
music
taking
and then like they put their own polish on it and create something new. So like the Lil B song might be as like wonky as fuck, but then like the stuff that Ugly God puts out, the stuff that Lil Yachty puts out, it's like it's really fun to listen to. It's like this could be like the Lil B like proto-genesis of this format of visual poetry.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like trying to give respect to the ground.
Still hallmarky,
right?
That's hallmarky as fuck.
Figure.
That's
Fair.
hallmarky. Yeah,
That is
Fair enough.
perfect.
Yeah, that's I'm like,
Yeah,
that's a nice card, but is that a poem?
Right.
Yeah.
If you're trying to break into new mediums and like really do it, you can't have some hack like derivative stuff. That was derivative. I've heard that before. You know
No,
what I'm
of
saying?
course we heard of it,
The
but
brevity of
in
it,
that
like,
form is like, yo,
And you
like,
know what?
I love the
I'll
novelty of the idea. I fuck with it. That's why
I'll
I'm
tell you
saying
what.
6.5, if not low 7s. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Get it.
like the poetry, but the idea, the concept, I fuck with it. Is what I'm saying.
I'll tell you one thing. One with the one line poems, like to me,
Right.
That's
the,
hard.
the
It's
master
hard.
the master of them super short poems like that, right? I don't know if y'all read any Khalil Gibran, man. That dude, what he does with his poems sometimes is he gives you the thought and then he just like he
Here
just
it is.
drops you, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it leaves room for your interpretation. I think maybe with this, the reason it's not hitting me is because it's so short and it doesn't encourage any thought.
Okay.
It doesn't
Yeah, word,
encourage
word.
any thought.
Word.
Like,
It
like
reminds me of like the shortest short story I ever wrote, ever written was baby shoes for sale, never used.
Oh, word.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
bars.
Right.
Yeah, that's real brevity. That's
Yeah,
real,
exactly,
like, bro,
exactly.
That is like a line from the Notebook, dog.
Again, I fuck with the format. Is what I'm saying. I fuck with the format. It's like, yo, this is like just I say the idea, the poetry, but the concept, I fuck with it.
All right.
We
Okay.
didn't do it.
Okay.
But none of us did. That's the thing with modern art. It could be like a white canvas painting, but the difference is that you didn't do it and they did.
and
They thought of it. They thought
random
of it.
person didn't ask us to critique his poem either.
Right.
So
They thought to do that in the context of the iMessage that sent at 3:08 a.m. and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's like they thought to do that. It's like, I did not think of that, but I probably will bite that in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then who do you send it to? You know what I'm saying? That was probably just a little sister on some like, hey, I just need something for the gram real quick.
Yeah,
so I'm just gonna send. But bless you guys, we see you. You all giving it a lot of credit though. I'm strong at a 4. Moving on, off of the 2-piece. The last part of the show, as it is every episode, the 5 for your eye.
yes.
For everybody at home, for the gods living and dead, everybody out there, the 5 for your eyes, where we give the guest poet this episode, the wonderful Kito Fortune, check him out. We give him 5 words. 5 words. They got to write a poem, any style, any format, any length, anything you want to do. You just got to use all 5 words. Hopefully. That's kind of
Right.
That's what
Oh,
we
man.
found. Shout
Yeah.
out to all the unused 5 for your eyes. We see
Right.
you, love you, but
Like we're
get
still
it, get
trying
it,
to figure
get it.
out like what to do when like people don't use like
All
the
five.
Yeah.
What's-
We see you.
right.
I used all the words.
So
Yeah,
the
so-
5 words.
We gave Kito 5 words. Whenever you book, that's usually when we get it. So sometimes you get a little bit of time, sometimes you get a lot. Kito's words were: we got nemesis, we got silver, we got pungent, we got natural, and we got weight. Weight, like WEIGHT, weight. So we gave Kito those 5 words, and he had some time. He let it cook. He chopped it up, and that's what we got.
Let's get
Okay.
it.
Well, hello, procrastination. We meet again. I'll never understand how I can carry you around for so long without ever feeling your weight. The dangerous thing about you is that I don't know you're there until it's already too late. My oldest nemesis is this resistance to persist, procrastination. You sit in my brain like a cyst, producing a pungent pus that makes me miss my opportunities. A human's natural enemy, which is fitting because you come from me, don't you? Weren't you born of my fear of greatness? My penchant for the mediocre, my silver medal mindset. Are you keeping me from truly investing in my goals? Or am I scared deep down because I believe they are false gold? Deep down, I know I don't believe in a false God. I try to trust in his promises when I don't trust myself. But if I don't get off my butt and work, not even God can help.
Hey, yes, Kilo, real quick. Oh, bless God, it's killing me.
Yeah.
Did you write that because you procrastinated on the
Yes.
Hey, we see you, bro. We see
Hey,
you.
that's a process right there, G. That's how it goes.
Pressure builds diamonds. Pressure builds diamonds, and suddenly
And I'm right there with
we
you.
got
Like,
it.
I often wish like I could start things in a timely manner, but I just can't get moving
Bro.
until I have
Oh
to
my
get moving.
goodness.
Right.
And it was, you know what? I had an opportunity. It was that thing where it's like you have the first opportunity and you're like, you know what? This is the perfect time for me to work on this.
Yeah, yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like,
But I don't got to.
but I got 2 weeks.
and
So pretty much,
and
Kito
then-
was like running on his here, like swiping with one hand, like let me try to type this up real quick. My notes at,
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, but it was like I was thinking about it.
getting
Yeah.
it.
With
That's
five for your eye, for your head top,
yeah,
boy.
G, that's like meta. That's
Hell
meta
yeah.
as fuck, eh?
Yeah.
You doing it out
Appreciate
here.
you.
Yeah, always. Bless. Keto, they can get you everywhere. Keto Fortune.
Yeah, Kito Fortune on everything. I just I have a poem called Afro Man, and we just released
Yeah,
an
go
official
peep that
video.
video.
Yeah.
So if you go on my YouTube channel, Kito Fortune, Kito Fortune on everything, you can find that.
Yeah, you always out. You always all around. We'll see you at Slam Finals this year. We'll see you hopefully.
Yeah,
at
we'll see.
Nationals
We'll
this
see.
year.
It's gonna be
Killing it.
the competition is gonna be so lit. I can't wait for semifinals to. I'm glad there's a little break. but
yeah.
I can't wait for semifinals to get going because the
I can't
competition
wait
is
for you
gonna
to
be
win
crazy.
nationals. G on the real. I can't wait for Keto to
Bro,
win
I can't wait for
nationals.
Keto to
It's gonna
win
happen.
nationals too.
It's
Real
gonna
talk.
happen.
Like
we see you.
Yeah.
We're working on it, man.
If I had like, if
Yeah.
we could play like fantasy slam, you'd definitely be in my draft.
Oh, all day,
Yeah.
all day, all day.
The number one pick right here.
Yeah, go check out that
Number one
sponge.
pick.
Hell yeah.
Word,
You
word.
sure you
I got
taking
it.
me over Ed
You
Main
are
right
hot
now?
right now.
Hell
G.
yeah.
Pancake strong on keto. Pancake
Facts.
strong on keto.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, check him out. YouTube. Go on YouTube. Check out. He's got a bunch of stuff on YouTube. Facebook,
one pick.
Instagram, Keto Fortune across the board. Thank you, G. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I'm glad
bless. Welcome
glad
to
I
the
love
clique.
this idea. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
always. Kuya, appreciate you.
Y'all know what it is. Kuya David, the Prime Poetry Prime Minister. You can get at me at Prime Poetry LG. That's a Prime Poetry League. You can get at us at PenClique, PenClique. Facebook, Instagram, on Twitter. We are the PenClique because at PenClique is actually some South African TV station that is no longer functioning, but for some reason they still keep that handle. Let it go. Y'all done. All right, at the PenClique on Twitter, but PenClique everywhere else. Yeah, we out here.
Getting it. You can check everything I'm doing. DanielJHees.bandcamp.com, DanielJHees.wordpress.com, TheChubbyFat.com. Everything we do, and go on YouTube, type in my name. Check out the Mike and Dim Lights the first Thursday of every month in the beautiful Pomona, California. We keeping that train on the tracks. We appreciate y'all. Bless y'all. Tell a friend. Share, like, survive. Write a poem, y'all. Write a poem.
Right,
sir.
poem.
Hey, thank you. Y'all watch the
Bless.
PenClique on YouTube, so y'all know what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe. Share, write, survive.
Thank y'all.
Love y'all.